those didn't even have symptoms, but that's where the symptoms were. The other 3/4 of our farm, no symptoms, healthy, didn't skip a beat. So we phoned our vet, but because it was through the holidays, he was not around to come and do a tissue sample. Phoned another vet that we use all the time, found out that he had sold without us knowing. And then we just thought, okay, well, we're going to start quarantining and treating our animals for Pseudomonas bacteria. And in that time frame, we got that anonymous call from Canadian Food Inspection Agency saying it was an anonymous tip, and we told them about the symptoms, and we said we have a large number of our animals that have no symptoms at all. They're healthy. We're outdoor animals. We have some that have been sick and then they got better, and yes, we've had some deaths. And they even said this does not sound like avian influenza. But moving forward, the ones that they wanted to come out and test a couple of the ones that had died, and we said absolutely, no problem. Again, we are still wondering why Canadian Food Inspection Agency is calling us. And they came out and they performed 2 PCR tests. So no serological testing, no gold standard tissue sampling, PCR tests. And we all know how accurate PCR tests are. So we were shocked at that too. At the same time, we said, well, then can we test our healthy animals? And they said no. We said, can we test the ones that were symptomatic and got better? They said no. They just wanted to test the 2 deceased ones. So here we go, moving on. These samples leave. They get to a lab in Abbotsford, British Columbia. It is a non-accredited lab to be able to diagnose for H5N1. 41 minutes after our results got to the non-accredited lab, they signed our call order after the results came in. They didn't wait till our results got to the only accredited lab in Canada that can test for H5N1, and that is in Winnipeg. And so they already signed our kill order. This we found out through our legal proceedings. But again, we have to just really go back to Canadian Food Inspection Agencies at our farm. And we said to them, we are not for food consumption. Yes, in past years, we definitely did. We dabbled in the meat, we dabbled in oil that you can make from the fat of the ostriches. But now, ever since COVID-19, we redirected our focus to antibody research. And it's been brilliant. We've been so excited about it to change the shape of how we treat viruses and disease in the future, because ostriches are prehistoric animals with amazing immune systems. Again, not for food consumption. And, to have this agency that says that it is for, food agency, but to have them come and do all this testing and put us through the ringer. They did a 5-hour Zoom call with us, and they took all of our intellectual property, saying that it may save our animals. They were interested in our research. And we gave them all of our intellect property. We told them all of our research. We told them all of our scientific data. We told them all of the tests that we wanted to start to create, and the new therapeutics to help animals and people across the world, and how we're at the usable stages of looking into hoping that the Canadian Food Inspection Agency is listening to us. 5.5 hours later, we go through another email, says that we qualify for special rare genetics. And then they took that email away from us, and they said, oh no, we're not giving that to you. Then we got an exemption package given to us. That exemption package was for a commercial poultry facility. And we said, we can't fill this package out properly. It's for a commercial poultry facility. And it even listed on there turkeys, ducks, geese, and chickens. We said it doesn't even list ostrich, rhea, or emus. And so we again said we can't fill this package out properly. They said you have to fill it out no matter what, and otherwise you're in non-compliance and you definitely are losing this. So we fill out this package the best we could, and we had to put a bunch of no's on it because it didn't pertain to us. And here they go. They sent us back on January 10th a notice that we didn't qualify, that we didn't pass the needs for the exemption package. Then we they told us we had to kill all of our own ostriches with our own hands by February 1st and bury them back in our hayfield, or we were in non-compliance. Now I'm going to jump forward, because what we have found out through all of our legal proceedings is that science and everything that was being offered to them, the diagnostic testing kits that we wanted to test for farmers and that we could create with our antibodies, we found out recently that 2 months after that 5-hour Zoom call and them getting all of our research and them getting all of our material and data, that they actually gave almost $1 million grant to a private lab in Quebec. And that lab is called Lafont. And so they are themselves now going to make diagnostic test kits for farmers. So here we're on this crazy 11-month journey, finding out now that they're basically stealing our intellect property and science, in our opinion. I mean, they went ahead and gave $1 million grant to a private lab when they could have got it from us for free. And we would have worked with them. So we thought that it really was about avian influenza at first. We thought maybe this is just pure and simply about, they said that it had to do with trading partner policies. And then when we brought on the U.S. government and got the support of the Trump administration, RFK and Dr. Oz, and had their offering to lend us the FDA and the FDA and the NIH and collaborate with the U.S., then they went to that we have a novel reassortment of avian influenza never seen before in Canada. Then we dispelled that one with our scientists. And then they went back to that they have to die because it's about trading partner policies. So then we got a second letter from the Trump administration still offering collaboration, our largest trading partner. They ignored all these letters from the U.S. government. Then in the very end here, they say now we have the most virulent threat of avian influenza in Canada. But none of these ostriches that are out here on our farm right now that they've taken custody of have ever been tested. Not one of these animals have ever been tested. Just the 2 in a PCR test almost 300 days ago that's the only 2 tests that they've ever done on our farm. They never did any soil sampling, no water sampling. They had not even been on our farm since February 26th till the September 22nd when they came in here with force and took us over.
So we might just, at that point where you talk about the fourth, let's deal with the first part of what you've just spoken about. You said at some point there that they would not allow you to do any testing on your own animals. Otherwise, and I think from previous conversations, you were going to be facing massive fines. If you actually got a vet or something,
it was that if we tested one of these animals ourselves, our animals, if we tested them ourselves.
All right. What's the date today? October 28th, I think it is. Maybe it's 27th. That's pretty much regular occurrence there. Always doing lives with podcasters and people all around the world. That person obviously was from Australia. There's not a whole lot of updates today. Unfortunately, there's an event supposed to go down in Kelowna tomorrow. There's been a lot of threats of violence and just some really radical people, that want to disrupt it and kind of lose focus of the messaging or the peaceful nature of, what Katie and the family have worked hard to maintain. They're constantly having to rein people in for this and that, myself included. I'm certainly no angel in that matter. But I mean, just that in itself is a full-time job for them. But they've managed to do that, so sounds like the event is most likely canceled. Don't want to jump the gun on that, so don't quote me, but that's what I've heard. But who knows? You never really can tell. And it's kind of like the telephone game in these situations. You hear one thing and then it's gone through a couple people, and by the time it gets to you, it's totally wrong. So with that being said, there's been meetings with the PLTs. They seem like they're helpful. One of them, from my understanding, is sounds like he's awake with knowing about the WHO, the WEF, World Agenda, UN, you know, all that fun stuff. And as far as I know, the hen or hens have not been looked at. There was the limping hen. She's no one knows what, you know, what condition she's in now. Sounds like they're hiding her in the barn. Hiding sounds nefarious, but that is an accurate describing word. Hopefully they're also keeping it comfortable, but I kind of doubt that, considering the last time. Just coming up to the pens here. So usual buddies. So it might be a little dark to see any ostrich today, but yeah, so hens not accounted for. The ostrich are continually looking skinnier and more weak. We have like roosters that are sitting down, speculating that they're conserving their energy. So they're just sitting in one place, you know, not moving, staying warm. And then if they see food come, they get up right away and go to the food. Their backs are not round like there should be, especially this time of year. Their CFIA are going out. Apparently it takes them, I forget exactly what it was, but it was a very short period of time to feed the birds. And when the owners found out about that, they were like, couldn't even believe it, because it takes them like hours and hours to do the feed. So they're like, how the hell could you possibly do the feed that fast? It's just not possible. So they're not being fed, they're basically being starved. I'm just in the pen here. Okay, so it is nighttime, but I know I'm not going to try and be an alarmist here, but you know, speaking of ostrich sitting down to conserve their energy, so we got one right here, and look at that, sitting right in front of the food bucket. You know, these aren't stupid creatures, right? So what is he saying? He's sitting right in front of the damn food bucket. So what does that tell you? He's sitting there conserving his energy, waiting to the closest possible spot where food is going to come. Right? Can you believe that? Just after I was telling you about these fucking things, sitting around conserving their energy, there it is, sitting there right next to the food bucket. Can you believe that? You can't make this up. So that's what's going on today. I'd say it's almost a guarantee at this point that they're not getting fed properly. You know, there was speculation of that weeks and weeks ago. They're not allowing them to bring in their own alfalfa. Every day there are reports of lack of food, lack of fresh water. It's just unreal. So there you go. There's the ostrich. Yeah, and then there was an ostrich that had some blood on its neck. We don't know what that is. I mean, again, not to be an alarmist, maybe it scratched itself on a fence, or whatever, who knows. But there was that. And that's about it. We'll see if there's some more that we can catch down here. And that's about it. So unfortunately the event, I was looking forward to that tomorrow. There were some big names going there, so maybe I'm wrong. Possible. Hello, good evening. I'm good, you? All right, so just walking along the Blue Mile here. Don't see any ostriches up front, which is a little different. Usually there's a few in there, but it is nighttime, so, and it is getting colder, so maybe they're you know, finding little huddling together and staying warm. Hey there, Missy. All right, well, that's about it. Not much to report today. Yeah, the video yesterday that we got, yeah, what an incredible view. Unfortunately, of course, the numbers are very low. I didn't do a count. I'm just exhausted from counting. I've counted so many times now, so, but everyone who's been doing counts, of course, it's very low. You know, it's just really mind-bending that, you know, we can basically know for a fact in front of our own lying eyes that there's a large amount of ostrich missing, and we're surrounded by police, and who do you call? Who do you call when the police are literally protecting an agency that is responsible for disappearing a large amount of 400-pound creatures? Like, how frustrating. It's just bizarre. So I can feel in my, I don't know, intuition or perhaps some other things that are indicating this, but I suspect there's going to be an uprising soon, and there is going to be, how you say, power of the people movement, and I'm quite looking forward to that. So for those of you on the fence or looking to jump on the saddle when the time comes, just start preparing now. Pack your bags, because it's going to happen at some point. I can almost guarantee it. I'm not in a vehicle today, so I can't do the usual little tour around on the vehicle, but oh, I can show you this. So this right here, my God, I'm actually going to climb this scaffolding to show you. It is the coolest, I don't know if I can't call it a painting. There's a going to patrol nothing. Hey, what did you do today? Oh, I was just patrolling nothing. It's a regular day at the ostrich farm. Found out today, one of these guys, one of these cops, made 25 grand here. That's right. So they're getting a premium, or maybe it's the LOA, or I don't know how the hell that happened, but they've only been here a month and a week, so 25 grand, it's not bad. Okay, now this view I want to show you. This view at nighttime, perhaps if you indulge in psychedelics, is like, this is something, obviously my phone can't do it justice, but I'm telling you, if you saw this at night, you wouldn't believe your eyes. The lighting that they have, I don't know why they choose to light up the entire mountainside. My personal opinion, my guess, is because it looks so damn cool. And it's like, why the hell not? Because at night they light the whole mountain, and it is the coolest. Like, no painting would ever be, compared to this. Like, it's just so crazy to look at. And of course, my phone doesn't do it justice, but man, this would be, come save the ostriches, number one. Come and see this, because you'll never see anything like this again. I'll tell you, it is something else. All right, well, that's it for now. We got our brave guards and Shy standing by. And yeah, I was starting to talk about chlorine dioxide, and I actually got quite a few people message me because I accidentally ended my live early. We were talking about, you might as well finish the story here. So a lot of people don't know this, and a lot of people who are uninformed and perhaps think there's some questions to be had about, the CFIA's, around, justifications for, entering and all this. So when the ostrich was first getting sick, the vet came and they tested positive for pseudomonoma, forgive me if I'm not getting that right, bacteria. And that is not a reportable sickness. So they ended up losing some ostrich, and then someone reported them anonymously, and that's how the CFIA ended up coming in. And then you get some people say, well, they never reported it and they should have. No, it's not true. It's not what happened. They did have a vet come, and the vet said it's this pseudomonal bacteria. So of course, the CFIA, they do 2 PCR tests, which have a very high false positive rating, right? So even if you had a low false positive rating, you should still have to, or at least have the option to retest, right? So the fact that they're not able to retest should be very alarming for all people interested in this story, whatever your opinions are. Like, there should be a retest, right? If you know anything about PCR tests, they're not really designed for this purpose. And even if you think they are, which they're not, but even if you think they are, the false positives is enormously high. And then you add to that, they cycled the PCR tests at 39, which is a very high cycling, which increases the false positives even more. So with all that being said, the point of that is, once they found out they had the pseudomonal bacteria, they started adding chlorine dioxide. And this is a product that I was mentioning before, and I got cut off, and people started messaging me saying, hey, can you finish what you're saying about this chlorine dioxide? And it's like a, I don't know if you call it a drug, but it's a wonder product, health product that is amazing for human beings and animals alike. So as soon as they added the chlorine dioxide, all the birds started to get better. And that is an indication of a bacteria problem, a bacteria infection, because it kills bad bacteria. I guess it kills good bacteria also, so you shouldn't use too much for too long, but it can be incredibly health beneficial. So as I was saying on the live before I accidentally cut it off early, it's chlorine dioxide. It's a suppressed product that, unless you go to like a natural health food store where you got some awake person who knows about these products, it's hard to find information on, because even the internet these days, you can't look it up on Google, or it'll actually downright say it's bad. Probably, I bet you if you put that in Google, it'd say it's harmful. It's not. It's really beneficial. So you'd have to go to platforms like Rumble. I believe there's one video, I think it's called 2 Drops, but you can just maybe search chlorine dioxide and maybe it'll come up. but it's a miracle product. And the story, I might get this totally wrong, but I think they use it in Africa for malaria or one of those really bad, problems they have in Africa. And it had like 100% success rate. I think it was the Red Cross that actually started using it. And then I don't know if you know, but the Red Cross has, been corrupted. So anyways, they'll deny this story even to this day. If you try and, ask the Red Cross, oh, did this story happen? But it's a true story where they were using chlorine dioxide for this particular disease. I think it was malaria, but it might have been, whatever, who knows, dengue or Nile or something. That I'm just getting it wrong. But they use it and they got 100% success killing this this deadly thing, and it's suppressed, right? And that's so common in the West. So that's the end of that story. So as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I'm not going to say this as a fact, but I think it's highly likely that the original, 60 some odd birds that did pass, I believe that it was likely from a bacteria, given the fact that once the chlorine dioxide was added to the water, they all got better. And the fact that those PCR tests are just bullshit. Like, they have false positives. I mean, most people that are, even half awake know that. But if you're just a regular mainstream media news consumer and you got your 9 to 5 and you're busy in the rat race, there's probably a good chance that you think that they work. But anyways, that's about it. I'm trying to think of anything else. So Dacey, he's out. He already jumped the gun, went to Kelowna. I know Blake's in Kelowna. Dacey's, I think he's actually staying with one of the supporters here. He had a great time. He's like, yeah, I'm at so-and-so's and just overlooking the lake right now. Nice to have a break from the farm. I just fell asleep on the chair and passed out for 2 hours. He's also recovering. When we were on our hike, he hurt his knee and he got stabbed in the eye. I feel bad because I made him come. Anyways, it was worth it. We got a great shot. More awareness, and I see the video's gotten over, I think, 200,000 views. So that's 200,000 more people that can see that there's birds missing, and hopefully someone in there, or maybe a handful of people, get involved. Maybe they show up here at the farm, or get ready for whatever comes, because something's coming, and it's just a matter of time. What else is going on? Jim's been hanging around. No, not hanging around because he's not allowed back here, but they're somewhere around and still working hard from their computers and their phones. And we got a little flashlight action here. What's going on? Oh, he must have dropped his lunch or something. I mean, what else could be going on here, really? Oh, my apple rolled away on me. I mean, what else could it be, right? Yeah, Thunder's around. Yeah, the TikTok scientist, I think there's some speculation that is someone else who we already know. I don't block people usually on my lives unless they become spammy. I have to go back and see if this TikTok guy is spamming like his other account, because if he is, then he's gonna have to go bye-bye. But usually you can talk shit, swear, whatever. I mean, if you get really belligerent, I'd probably feel obligated to censor that person, but for the most part, I don't censor or block people. I'm a free speech absolutist. I have thick skin. You can say what you want about me. I'm not too worried about it. So yeah, that's it. People, yeah, the legal thing, the lawyers are working hard behind the scenes. Lots of different groups Also, they're doing these amazing videos. I think they're using AI, but they really break down stories of corruption and make it really easily digestible. And the reach continues to grow. And yeah, so Thursday's coming up soon, so that'll be highly likely we'll have an idea if they are going to be announcing in Supreme Court whether or not the case gets accepted. So that'll be coming, very high chance, on Thursday. And that's it. The injured bird is, as far as we know, it is in a barn now, so I hate to say it. I'm not very optimistic, but we can't see it, right? So are they just letting it sit there? And when they're stressed out, I would assume, like other animals, if you're injured and you're stressed out, sometimes they stop eating and stop drinking, right? So we saw what happened with Spirit. I hope that's not happening again with this other injured bird. We haven't seen any of those water packs going into the barn to administer fluids. I don't know if anyone's been watching it so closely to know if the hen has left the barn. Like, we got people watching very, very intensely, but we can't expect someone to have eyes on a barn 24/7, but pretty damn close. So we haven't seen the hen. We don't know what's going on with the hen, which, that in itself is a disgrace too. You got these owners, that hen very likely could be 35 years in the family, and these assholes aren't even giving them an update to tell them, what's going on with their hen that was limping around, sitting around. No matter who you are or what your stance is on this, I don't think anyone agrees with an animal cruelty. Even you could be a hunter, that's fine. Not many people are gonna have a problem with that, but leaving injured, suffering animals to just fucking wither away so terribly. I'm really gonna push for justice for Spirit. I know there's gonna be a lot of other people too. That's definitely one thing that's gonna be, as this wraps up, once these assholes are off the property and the birds are safe, I'm sure they'll have the civil lawsuit flying full steam ahead. And one of my things is definitely going to be, I've got all the cops' names of who was there that night or those nights, and I'm hopefully can find out what CFIA agents were there. And I don't think that just holding the agencies accountable, the individuals who were there need to be held accountable, because you had people showing you images of what was going on right behind you. Literally, I think I said 20 feet, but maybe 40 feet, if I'm being, maybe 30, 40 feet behind you. And you just decided to pull the I'm following orders card. Like, no, man, that doesn't work. That does not work. So, as far as I'm concerned, whoever was there, they should all have charges brought to them. If this country is just, and I believe there's a good chance that it is, the people involved that were on duty should be held with animal cruelty charges, and possibly even civilly liable financially as well. Causing that kind of terror and trauma for a family. Like I said, there's a good chance that Spirit was in the family. I've heard 35, I've heard 20, but I know 10 years is a long time. I haven't confirmed it, which one it is, but having an animal in your family for that long. So as being a hen, then it's obviously one of your layers, right? That lays the eggs, one of your breeders, and you know, a provider, you could say, right? And to have to sit back, not allowed to tend to your animals, not allowed to enter your property that you pay taxes on, that you've bled, sweat, cried, right? Blood, sweat, and tears, literally, obviously. And the trauma, the violation. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have ever been robbed or had someone break into your house. It's a very ugly feeling. When you go home and you see the windows broken or the door's been kicked open, that's a very violating feeling. Well, times that by about 1 million. Having the government come with guns, so you have nobody to call. There's no one to come save you. These are the people that are supposed to come save you. Could you imagine? And then watching your animal that's laid your eggs and been a part of your family, that you've probably, you know, had to wrap his leg or her leg once or twice. You've probably had to help her get better from one thing or the other, you know, decades. And then to watch them suffer and be treated the way she was, pushed around, left in a dusty old barn by herself, just sickening. And then the people you're supposed to call just tell you, shut up, basically. Just brutal. So I usually don't, I try not to attack police, but in this instance, I mean, what do you, like, how do you defend that as an officer, a fellow officer, or a chief? You know, what would have the chief of police said, do you think, if his officer went, you know, quote, rogue, unquote, and just said, hey man, you know, stood up to the CFI and said, you know, this hen is dying and there's no one looking after it. Like, either you guys get a vet in here now, or let these owners go and give it some fluid, electrolytes or whatever it needs, wrap it up, give it a heater, you know what, like, just let it sit there like that. What would have the chief done? He would have been like, good job, man, thanks for bringing that to our attention. Why is it that the men in this country forgot that you don't just follow orders? Not when there's an animal suffering. All right. What else bugs me? I think that's the biggest one right now. Spirit, then this other hen that's just in the fucking cold barn right now, probably has a hurt leg or whatever. And then we got the roosters that are conserving energy, not getting proper water. They're drinking out of puddles. I just showed you that one bird is sitting in front of the bucket waiting for food, conserving his energy. The mistreatment of these things, it's just crazy. And we can actually show it to you. Showing it to you live, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, yeah. Alright, well, I can't really think of anything else that's going on. Tomorrow is, I don't know, Monday or Tuesday tomorrow. Anyways, getting closer to the Supreme Court. Get some news from them. And that's it. I think I might call my buddy Chris Sky maybe, and he's always got some pretty good ideas. Maybe I'll do that. Okay, you guys have a good night.